joining us now early because we want to get her up here earlier than we usually do because of the import of this story is Victoria Jones, our Washington correspondent from the Talk Radio News Service. Victoria, what is being done on Capitol Hill in response to all of this, and what kind of security measures can we expect with regard to our members of Congress as a result of this horrific tragedy?
What is happening on Capitol Hill is the House is not in session today. They come back tomorrow, and they'll have a pro forma session. On Wednesday, they are meeting to consider a resolution honoring Representative Gabrielle Giffords and other victims of Saturday's shooting. And at the moment, they're not having a recorded vote, but somebody might request that. On Wednesday also, there will be a big session to discuss security because, of course, there are a lot of freshmen and a lot of members who were not around during 9/11 and the anthrax scare who are not familiar with security procedures. So that is what is happening on Capitol Hill.
What is the consensus about some of the rhetoric, and some of it has been coming from members of Congress in the past, rhetoric that could be interpreted as inflammatory? Is there any move by the leadership of either party to try to tone down the rhetoric and make it a little bit more civil up there on Capitol Hill?
I think the leadership of both parties, and you certainly saw this from the president today when he spoke in the Oval Office with President Nicolas Sarkozy, and you've seen it. You've not seen John Boehner or Eric Cantor anywhere, if you notice. They are not giving interviews. The leadership is being very, very careful to set the right tone, not to be inflammatory, not to say the wrong thing, and I think they've all got fingers and toes crossed that their members will not say the wrong thing. And in fact, I know that the Republicans briefed a freshman member who went on the Sunday shows to make sure that he stayed on message. So they're all really hoping that their members will not inflame the rhetoric. However, I've been watching TV today, and people are saying fairly inflammatory things. So whether that is approved by leadership or whether it's because members are just exercising their First Amendment rights is not clear to me. But they are the leadership is very worried, particularly the Republicans, that somebody might say something inflammatory.
You know, this is a very serious kind of thing, and again, we do not know the motivations. We don't know whether the political rhetoric really tipped this gentleman over the edge to cause him to do what it is alleged that he did, and I don't think there's much question that he did it. I mean, I'm always very cautious not to convict somebody before their trial, but I mean, the facts are pretty obvious out there in the public domain what happened on Saturday, and I think I've been very cautious to not suggest that I know what was in the guy's mind. I don't think anybody does know what's in the guy's mind, but you and I have discussed this before during the healthcare debate, Victoria Jones. I am not at all surprised that this has happened, and I am concerned as an individual that it will happen again if the rhetoric isn't toned down a little bit by both sides, and I'm wondering your thoughts on that.
Right. I mean, I was shocked that it happened, and I was initially surprised that it happened, but then I wasn't surprised that it happened. I mean, there is something that I will not be surprised at if there is a particular attack attempt made, if ever it happens, that I won't be surprised that it happens. So there are, I wasn't surprised. I was shocked. Let's put it that way. Because of the rhetoric, but we do not know whether any of the rhetoric has got to this guy. He was obsessed with her. But his obsession seems to have been related to, weirdness as much as anything else.
I agree. Once again, all of us who are in the public, no matter how big or little our bully pulpit, I think we owe it to society to be cautious about how we express our opinions on issues, so not to maybe inflame things so that unstable people do things that turn out to be tragic. Victoria Jones, thanks for joining us early. I know you adjusted your schedule to do so. Victoria Jones from the Talk Radio News Service in Washington, D.C., thanks for joining us here on News Talk Online on the Pal Talk News Network.